He described himself as the last of the dinosaurs upon his retirement in 1984 after playing 337 games, polled more Brownlow votes than any other player in league history, a reflection of his consistency over an 18-year career. Dempsey is regarded as one of the best ruckmen since the war and won the Bulldogs Club Award 6 times and added another at North in 1979. Another ruckman, Essendon Simon Madden, who yesterday broke Dick Reynolds' long-standing club record of 320 games, is the third current-day footballer to be included in Holden's competition. Unlike Reynolds, Madden may not have won 3 Brownlows, but he is nevertheless viewed as one of the Bombers' best players of all time. There's no question he's been the best big man of the 1980s, and he developed ruckwork into an art form with his spring and deft left-handed palming to his expectant rovers. Despite being Essendon's longest-serving player, Madden has plenty of football still left in him. In fact, last season, the 31-year-old was equal second in the Brownlow medal. Seven's commentators ranked Hawthorn skipper Michael Tuck as the best present-day player after he was named as number 20. The bearded hawk arrived at Glenferrie Oval from Berwick, just hoping to have a couple of training runs. 18 years and close to 400 games later, Tuck is still going strong. And according to his amazed teammates, their skipper could rack up 500 games. North Melbourne's dual Brownlow medalist Keith Grigg, one of the best wingmen in VFL history, was regarded as number 19 in our exclusive group of players. Simply put, few league footballers were blessed with the pace and balance of the ginger-haired Grigg. At his best, the Roo couldn't be contained, although some rivals employed illegal tactics in an effort to silence him. Another wingman and later defender, Francis Burke, is next on the countdown, coming in at number 18. He was a regular in all the Tigers' best teams, playing in 6 grand finals for 5 premierships. Burke's incredible courage and spirit often caused spectators to shudder, but more often than not, he escaped harm and, more importantly, won the loose ball. The sole Melbourne player in the top 25 since '65 is Robert Flower, who comes in at number 17. The ex-Demon probably had the most frail build of any footballer, but also he possessed rare ability. His astonishing speed and uncanny ability to balk his way out of potential trouble had to be seen to be believed. Despite playing in a club record 274 games, Flower tasted finals fever on only 3 occasions, all in his final year, 1987, when the Demons failed by 2 points to reach the grand final. High-flying hawk Peter Knights, one of the most breathtaking players ever to grace a football field, was voted into slot number 16. Knight was twice runner-up in the Brownlow, 3 votes behind Graeme Moss in 1976 and 1 behind Malcolm Blight 2 years later. But the disappointment was softened because the Hawks won the flag in both of those years. Wayne Shimbush, former North Melbourne captain, was voted as the 15th ranked player for a career characterised by his willingness to give his all for the Roos, irrespective of the scores. While there were more brilliant players at Arden Street, Blight, Glendinning and Davis come to mind, none was admired more than the little number 20. Shimbush didn't win many individual awards, but they didn't particularly interest him. It was the team success which was utmost in his mind, and to that end, he could be satisfied with his career, which spanned a club record 306 games, including 2 premierships from 5 grand final appearances. St Kilda's favourite son, Daryl Bulldock, the captain of the club's only premiership team, is number 14 on the top 25. Bulldock will be forever remembered for his sensational ball control, which left opponents in a spin. And despite his relative lack of height, the ex-Saint could also take the big specky. Dubbed Mr Magic, Bulldock joined the Saints in 1962, and in only 119 games, he built up the reputation of being one of the best Tasmanians ever to play in the VFL. It's still a mystery, however, how he didn't win a Brownlow medal, although he did twice finish equal second and on another occasion ended up joint 4th. VFL Games record holder Kevin Bartlett of Richmond is regarded by our commentators as the 13th best footballer to have pulled on a boot in the past quarter of a century. Bartlett won the Tigers' Best and Fairest award a record 5 times, played in the same number of premiership teams and represented Victoria on 20 occasions. Perhaps the highlight of Bartlett's distinguished career was his outstanding form in the 1980 final series. As a 33-year-old, Bartlett kicked 21 goals in 3 matches, including 7 in the grand final against Collingwood. While he has fond memories of that series, He also remembers the reception he received from Magpies backman Ray Byrne when he played his 400th game.
I remember when I played my 400th game, I lined up on Ray Byrne of Collingwood, who's a bit of a practical joker and a great bloke. And as I lined up and he shook hands, he had this comb in his hand and it had no teeth in it. He said, "Look, I think this is yours, Kevin."
The fourth Hawthorn footballer to be voted into the top 25 is prolific goal kicker Peter Hudson, who topped the VFL goal kicking 4 times and went within a whisker of breaking the record of 150 goals held by South Melbourne legend Bob Pratt. Twice in the 1971 grand final, Hudson had the chance to rewrite the record books, but in both times he blundered. Nevertheless, he booted 727 goals in only 130 matches at an average of 5.59, the highest of any VFL player. Hudson once kicked 16 goals in a match and twice bagged 13. And in the opening round of the 72 season, before seriously injuring a knee late in the second quarter, Huddo had chalked up 8 of the Hawks' 9 goals. But while there was no doubting Hudson's radar-like ability around goal, even he confesses to a weakness: pace.
Footscray one day, I chased a guy, Peter Welsh, and I chased him for what I thought was about 3 or 4 miles. We ran the whole length of almost of the Western Oval, and he was bouncing the ball, and on about the 8th bounce, and mind you, all during this I was losing ground on him, he was getting away from me. On about the 8th bounce, he bounced the ball, popped up over his shoulder and landed in my arms, much to the amazement of everybody in the ground, particularly me. But when I turned round and looked back, the goalposts looked like toothpicks, and I thought that I'd never get back there, so I just kicked it as hard as I could, and it resulted in a goal. Don Scott picked it up and kicked a goal.
The player to narrowly miss out on the top 10 was North Melbourne's Barry Cable, a magician with 2 of the quickest hands in the business. After 1 season with the Roos in 1970, Cable headed back to Perth, only to be wooed back at the start of North's golden years, 1974. During the ensuing 4 years, Cable played 116 matches, including 5 grand finals, which netted the little champ 2 flags. Another player renowned for his disposal by hand was Geelong ruckman Graeme Polly Farmer, one of the most skillful big men since the war. Farmer's relationship with rover Billy Goggin bordered on the telepathic, and the duo carved up opposition sides with monotonous ease. In his second year with Geelong, he was a member of its premiership team, and 4 years later captained the Cats in their losing grand final side against Richmond. Footscray legend Ted Whitten was voted into 9th position, an outstanding achievement considering he'd played for 14 years before becoming eligible for Holden's competition. He broke into the Bulldogs team as a 17-year-old and went on to play a then record of 321 games. Whitten took out his club's best and fairest 4 times and was a member of Footscray's first premiership team in 1954. Whitten played 29 matches for Victoria and remains one of the most passionate believers in the interstate concept. His retirement in 1970 was one of the most emotional ever seen, as his loyal fans flocked to the Western Oval to salute the Bulldogs' finest footballer. Carlton's Bruce Doull, one of football's most private individuals, was voted into the 8th spot. The unflappable Blues defender preferred to express himself on the field rather than off it. He achieved almost every team and personal honour in football and was an integral part of 4 Carlton premiership sides. He took out 4 club best and fairests, represented Victoria 12 times, and holds the Blues games record of 359, a total surpassed by only Kevin Bartlett, Michael Tuck and Bernie Quinlan. Richmond's Royce Hart, arguably the greatest centre-half forward of them all, was voted number 7 in the top 25. Hart played in a total of 5 grand finals in the Tigers' halcyon years, and from those appearances came 4 premierships. His courage, deceptive speed and high marking presented opposition defenders with all sorts of problems, worthy member of the top